So, what are some, and for this you can speak to future dads. You can speak to just young men in general. What are some sacrifices that you should expect entering into fatherhood?
The sacrifices that I can, the sacrifices, they pile up. They really pile up. But, some of the sacrifices is the sacrifice of time, the sacrifice of money, the sacrifice of agenda, the sacrifice of direction. And if we could speak to that, just the sacrifice of time, you may want to do things. And I see this with a lot of younger parents that me and my wife grew up with. Just people that we observed. Some of them just don't want to be parents because they don't want to sacrifice the time to spend with their child, right? Because they still want to, which is nothing wrong with this part of it. They want to make something of their life, but at the sacrifice of the time spent, right? That becomes more important than the time spent. Where in our approach to parenthood is that family is the most important. It's the key ingredient to your existence, right? Is I go out and I do so that I can provide, right? It's not like my family is a byproduct of provision. The provision is a byproduct of the family, right? Because I'm doing everything that I do for my family. And I think a lot of people just kind of forget to teach the importance of family.
Yeah.
And they teach the importance of everything else. It's not saying that everything is less important, but if you don't teach the importance of family, I can go out and I can make it rich. I can get a good job and become successful. And if I didn't teach, if I'm not taught the importance of how to raise a family, then I got all this stuff, but I don't know how to raise my family. I don't know how to treat my wife. I don't know how to treat my children, right?
Right.
But if I go out and I can teach the importance of the relationship of father, son, husband, and wife, right? Then all this other stuff is going to be used the right way. So yeah, I sacrificed basketball games. I sacrificed working out. I sacrificed my own agenda. I sacrificed money, right? But yet in the same token, I don't look at them as sacrifices. I look at them as all investments, right?
Ooh.
Because really, it's all seed sown for the betterment of this child's future, right? So I would always know whether I discipline or not, whether I'm having fun or not, everything I do is really to prepare this child for the future. I'm disciplining for the future. I'm loving for the future. All is for the correction and for the betterment of the whole person. Like this person is going to grow up and be independent. And I only can do my best. So that means everything I do has to be intentional. Like,
right.
I mean, like, sometimes I sacrifice sleep. Why do I sacrifice sleep? It's because I got to teach a lesson. It's like, dang, you always got to teach a lesson? Yes, I do. Because I'm here at this moment in time for your best interest. And that's bottom line. And so, yes, I'm sleepy, but we're going to be up all night if I have to make sure that you can understand the importance of what's going on here. Right? One person said this, well, I said this really, but I don't know if I heard it from somebody else. But if you spoil the child, you raise the grandchild. But if you raise the child, then you can spoil the grandchild.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah.
That's accurate.
So a sacrifice that I would say that any parent should make is a sacrifice of pride, right? Put that to the side. You know what I mean? Sacrifice your own agenda. Put that to the side. Sacrifice relationships that are not healthy. You know, those things that don't, you know, put you sacrifice sometimes the things that you want to watch, and watch what your children watch. Because I can guarantee some of the stuff, sacrifice what you listen to. Right? Sacrifice that, because you know what you're listening to may be damaging to your child's ear. It may not be the right substance that they need to make them whole. And so if it's not really wholesome, you sacrifice that, and maybe you know, listen to some stuff that will build future in them, that'll make them whole and even make you better as well. So sacrifice the childish things. Let's grow up and be men, right?
I like how you said you don't really look at them as sacrifices, or like investments.
Yeah,
I think that's huge. And you know, as you were saying that, the picture of an apple seed came into my head, and you know, and I feel like this is an analogy that you told me when I was like super young, but I don't know. But as you were saying that, I just pictured an apple seed, right, planted in the ground. And that represents, you know, parents having kids, right? You planting a seed into the world. And, you know, in order for that seed to grow, you got to water it, obviously. Everybody knows how, you know, plants work. You know, they got to get nutrients. They got to get the sun. They got to get water. And, you know, those nights where you're staying up to feed your child, you're watering the seed. That's the time you spend, you know, holding your child just because they want you to hold them. You're watering that seed, and eventually that seed is going to grow into what? An apple tree, right? And it's not only going to grow into a big, strong apple tree, it's going to grow into a tree, a plant, a source that's going to produce, right? Apple trees produce apples. And I think that's one of the coolest things as being a parent, is not only do we get to see the seed grow, but we also get to see what it produces, right? We get to see it flourish. We get to see it, you know, be what it's supposed to be. And I feel like you, in your time as being a dad, in the season you're in as being a dad, you're starting to see that. I don't know, maybe not, but that's one thing that I'm looking forward to as a dad, is to, you know, see my seeds grow up to be apple trees. Analogy, don't take it literal, but yeah, that's one thing that I'm super excited about. And it's also, from you saying that, I'm kind of checking myself, because, you know, being a young parent, you know, when, you know, my daughter, she's just fussing for no reason, and I'm trying to do something, I'm trying to build something, I'm trying to edit, whatever it is, and she's fussing, she just wants me to hold her, you know, that first reaction can sometimes just be an annoyance, like, oh, why do I gotta hold you right now? And, you know, but when you turn it around and look at it as an investment, it definitely checks you. Like, I'm not just doing this for no reason, right? I'm not just, you know, feeding my child for no reason. Obviously, you feed your kids, you know, so they can stay alive. But, you know, I'm not just doing tummy time for no reason. Right. I'm not just reading books to my child for no reason. It's an investment, and it's going to grow to be something really big in the future. And I think that's really cool that you said that keyword, investment.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I do remember using that analogy with the apple seed. So when it came to me, I was woke up in the middle of the night. This idea, I believe God spoke this to me. And, you know, it was a question that was asked: do I eat apples? You know, so I'm gonna ask you that question, just to get the question, you know, get it how it came to me. Jayvious, do you eat apples?
Of course, I be smacking apples.
Yeah. So when you eat it, how much of it do you eat?
Everything except the core, except the seeds.
And then when you're done, what do you do with it?
Throw it in the garbage.
Why?
I don't know. It's not of my use anymore. I don't need it anymore.
Right. And so that's exactly what I said to the questions that was asked to me about that. And then this is what was said to me after that. Whenever you have no need for the seed, you would disregard it and throw it away. And he said that's what fathers are doing to their seeds.
Whoa. Wow. That's deep.
Right. And so, the point is to understand what the purpose of a father is to also know the purpose of the seed. Because like I said, if I don't have my father in my life, right? Whatever reason that is, I don't know. That's here or there, right? But it is evident that seed wasn't important enough for him to stay around. So it was disregarded. And that happens a lot in a lot of parents' life. And a lot of times it's because they're young. They're mature, right? And they having, right, sex just because peer pressure, and lo and behold, a seed comes out. And now the first thing is it's not mine, or whatever the reason is they're afraid of the responsibility of this seed, right? And so there's a lot of people that's like that. And then they grew up resenting the father because the seed was left there to grow without any direction, without any nourishment, without any protection. So the seed had to find out what kind of seed it was, so to speak. You know what I mean? Am I an orange tree? Am I an apple tree? Am I a pear tree? I don't know, right? What is my identity? I don't even know, because I don't even know what tree I came from.
Right.
So that is kind of an analogy that I use, that God kind of showed me. That you part of the father's job is to help with the purpose. And if you don't look at it that way, then like what you were saying, you could be doing other things, busy in your life, and the child just needs some attention, needs to be held, needs to be cratered, or whatever, you know, and we're too busy for it. But sometimes we need to sacrifice, right, to make that investment, so that child, and in the early age, so that child can get what they need. But in the early ages, I think that those are checkpoints that help us prepare for other moments in the child's life, because there's other moments that we're going to have to be there for the child. If we already established that pattern and that habit, that routine, when they're young, just sitting down and holding them, putting everything aside and just talking to them, then that becomes the natural default setting when you get older. And they're not demanding your time, but you do know that they need it on the inside. So you set some time aside because you still can recognize that there's something wrong.